Just a few years ago, it seemed like everyone online was talking about retiring at 40. People were saying things like, I'm financially free at 35. I never have to work again. Some people even say, I'm retiring before my parents. But now, housing is expensive, groceries are expensive, insurance is expensive. And many Americans are wondering, is early retirement still possible, or did I completely miss the boat? The answer might surprise you, because while the old fire strategy is struggling in 2026, Americans are still retiring early. What just changed is that they are using a different playbook. My name is Elias, and I make videos on personal finance, investing, and business. So in today's video, I'll be talking about how Americans can retire early in 2026. Let's get right into it. Let's quickly define what is FIRE. FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The goal is simple: save and invest aggressively so that your investment eventually generates enough money to cover your living expenses. At that point, work now becomes optional. The original FIRE movement became popular in the 2010s when housing was cheaper, interest rates were low, and the stock market was booming. Back then, many FIRE followers saved between 50 to 70% of their income and aimed to retire at the age of 40. But in 2026, things looks different. So here's a new playbook. Follow me and make sure you watch till the end of the video. Number one is focus on increasing income, not just cutting expenses. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking fire is all about being cheap. Well, that was the old strategy. The new strategy is to earn more. Think about it. You can only cut your Netflix subscription once. You can only stop buying coffee once. But your income can double, it can triple, or even quadruple. Let's say Sarah earns $60,000 per year. She cuts expenses and save an extra $3,000 annually. That's great. But imagine she gets a new job paying $85,000. Now she starts to earn an extra $25,000 a year. Which one moves her towards retirement faster? Of course, the higher income. In fact, bank rates found that rising income is the single biggest factor helping Americans to increase their savings, not simply spending less. So if you are serious about retiring early, you can negotiate your salary, you can learn high income skills, or you can even start side hustles, because in 2026, income growth beats extreme frugality. Number two is use the government tax loopholes legally. Most people think investing is all about returns. It's not. Tax also matters. And in fact, it matters a lot. And the good news is that the IRS has increased retirement contribution limit for 2026. So you can now contribute $24,500 into a 401k and $7,500 into an IRA annually. The old FIRE playbook often emphasized taxable brokerage accounts. Now, the new playbook practices tax-advantaged accounts first. And why is that? Because every dollar you don't lose to taxes can continue to grow. Think of it this way: you are not just investing, you are investing with a government discount, and that's a huge advantage. Number three is never ignore your employee match, because this might be the easiest money you ever make. For example, if the employer says we will match every 5%, what this means is that if you contribute $5,000, they will also contribute $5,000. What this means is that you just double the money instantly. But unfortunately, a lot of Americans still don't take full advantage of employer matching. So if your company offers one, take it. Number four is build multiple income streams. The old fire movement relied heavily on one thing, which was a high paying job. But in 2026, things are different. Layoffs happen, industries change, and AI is disrupting jobs. One paycheck can disappear overnight. That's why modern fire followers focus on multiple income streams like freelancing, dividend stocks, rental properties, online businesses, and so on. Notice something here: the goal is not necessarily becoming rich. The goal is reducing dependence on a single employer. Now, the less dependent you are on one paycheck, the closer you are to financial independence. Number five is aim for semi-retirement instead of full retirement. Here's something most people don't realize. Most people who retire early don't actually stop working. They simply stop doing work that they hate. This is where concepts like post-fire, which means saving enough early so that your investment can grow while you still continue to work, or barrister fire, which is semi-retirement, where investment cover most expenses and then part-time job covers the rest. These concepts have become very popular. So instead of needing investment to cover 100% of your expenses, you might only need them to cover 70%. Then you work part-time doing consulting, projects you are passionate about, or maybe just run a small business. For instance, imagine Mike at 45. His investment covers most of his expenses, but he works 15 hours weekly as a golf instructor because he loves it, and that's retirement. Because work becomes a choice, and that's what fire movement is all about. Number six is build a bigger emergency fund. Now, this is where modern fire differs dramatically from old fire. The old approach often said was keep very little cash and invest everything. Well, all that is risky today because according to bank rates, nearly 1 in 4 Americans have no emergency funds at all, and only 46% have enough savings to cover at least 3 months of expenses. That's scary because a job loss or a medical bill or car repair can suddenly force people to sell off their investments. The new fire playbook says keep 6 to 12 months of expenses, keep a healthy cash buffer and a solid emergency fund. The emergency fund is not slowing your fire journey, it's simply protecting it. Number seven is rethink the famous 4% rule. If you spend time among fire communities, you've probably had this: save 25 times your annual expenses. Now, that statement is based on something called the 4% rule. The old fire community treated it like a law, but in 2026, you just have to be more flexible because factors like healthcare costs, inflation, and market uncertainty all matters. So, can Americans still retire early in 2026? Absolutely. But the old fire playbook has evolved. The new version focuses on increasing income, tax advantages, employee matches, and so on. So the goal is not necessarily to stop working forever. The goal is to get to a point where working becomes an option. That's financial freedom. Now, I want to hear from you. If you could retire early, what age would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and see you guys in the next one.